guys and gals, welcome to video lesson 1-5, our lesson on special angles and angle types. Here we go. Okay, a couple things you need to know. This is all from your textbook. Okay, all from your textbook, and you can fill this in as we go right there in your notes. Adjacent angles are two angles that lie in the same plane and have a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior point, so they can't overlap. In other words, two adjacent angles can't overlap. Angles 1 and 2 right here are adjacent angles because they have the same vertex and they share one common side. It's like angles that are next to each other. You know what adjacent means. These two angles right here, 1 and 2, these are adjacent angles. Okay? When we're looking at angle 3 combined with angle ABC, those are not adjacent angles because this portion of the angle overlaps. However, angle 3 and angle 4 would be adjacent angles. Here in this case, angle 3 and angle ABC are not adjacent angles because they do not share the same endpoint. Okay? A linear pair is a special case of adjacent angles. Linear pairs are adjacent angles that make up a straight line. So angles 1 and 2 are adjacent, and they are linear pairs because they make up a straight line. This angle right here, 1 and 2, they are adjacent angles, but they're not a linear pair because these two angles do not make up a straight line. Vertical angles are the angles that are made when two lines or segments cross, and you have, opposite rays. So we have opposite rays on each side, opposite rays. So angles 3 and 4 are vertical angles, and angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles. But on this side here, these are not vertical angles, even though they look like they're vertical angles, because this is not a straight line. These segments here are not opposite rays. Okay, so these are not vertical angles because we don't have straight lines. Okay, one thing you do need to know about vertical angles are always congruent to each other, which means they are equal. They have the same measure. So these two angles right here are equal because they're vertical, and these two angles right here, they are also equal. They are congruent because they are vertical. Two more words you need to know: complementary and supplementary. Complementary angles add up to 90. Supplementary angles add up to 180. Okay? These two angles right here, 1 and 2, we call those right angle pairs. I'm going to call those wrap angles. Right angle pair angles are always complementary because they add up to a right angle, or they add up to 90. These two angles right here, even though they are not adjacent, they're not right angle pairs, they are still complementary because they also add up to 90. Okay? Linear pair angles will always be sup. So linear pair angles, these two angles right there, 3 and 4, they are linear pair angles, therefore they are supplementary. Okay? And angles P and Q also add up to 180, even though they are not linear pair angles. They also are supplementary because they add up to 180. Okay? These two angles again are linear pairs, so therefore they are sup. All right. A couple more words that are important. Perpendicular. Perpendicular are line segments, rays, or even planes that intersect at right angles. The symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. It looks like this. So we would write this as line AD is perp to line BC because these are right angles. All four of those angles are right angles, so therefore AD is perp to BC. Parallel lines are two lines on the same plane that do not intersect. Therefore, if they are on the same plane, so I can draw them. So this is line AB, and this is line CD, okay? They are parallel because they don't intersect. I can write AB is parallel to CD. Again, make sure I put my lines above like that. Oblique are lines, segments, or rays that are neither perpendicular or parallel. In other words, they intersect not at right angle. So if this is line A, B, and this is line CD, we would say that AB is oblique with CD. Okay, there is no symbol for oblique. So, adjacent angles. Take about 2 minutes right now and kind of fill in these things. Let's see what we can do. Or yeah, go ahead. Stop the tape and give it a go real quick. Okay, there are lots of answers for all of these. But some examples of adjacent angles could have been QOR. This angle is adjacent with this angle right here. Angle ROS, or you can say it's adjacent with that one. QOR is adjacent with QOP. Lots of possible answers here. Some examples of linear pairs. Would be certain people have done angle OROS with SON, that whole angle. These two are linear pairs. These two right here are linear pairs. I mean, there's, again, lots of examples of linear pairs. Some vertical angles, there's fewer examples here, but we have some. These two right here would be vert. These two right here would be vert. This is vert with that. If I want to go some smaller ones, this is vert with that, right? Okay. We do another one. We get a nice color here. How about purple? Blue. This blue angle right here would be vert with, to get it right, this blue one right here, if that makes sense. Okay. Again, supplementary means adds up to 180. Complementary means adds up to 90. There are some examples there. Perpendicular, the symbol. It's an upside down T. Parallels like that. Oblique means crossing not at right angles. So most lines are going to cross obliquely. Go ahead and try this one. You can stop that tape once again. Go ahead and stop that tape. Okay, if you try those, the answer to the first one, name two, I think that was acute adjacent angles 4 and 5. These guys right here appear to be small angles, and they are adjacent. Name two obtuse vertical angles. We can look at these guys right here at 1 and 3. And name two linear pair angles. These are angles that are going to be angles that are going to be a linear pair. So there we go. Okay, we're going to try this one. Find the measure of two supplementary angles if the difference between the measures of the two angles is 18. Probably the easiest way to do this problem is I'm going to do some algebra. Okay, so I'm going to call my first angle here angle 1. I call my second angle 2. I'll let my first angle be x since I don't know what it is. I know my second angle is going to be x plus 18 because these two angles have a difference of 18. In other words, x and x plus 18 have a difference of 18. Now these two angles are supplementary, so I know that they add up to 180. So therefore, x plus 18 is equal to 180. Now we'll do some algebra. I'm going to do 2x plus 18 is equal to 180. I'm going to subtract the 18. I get 2x is equal to 162. Therefore, when I divide both sides by 2, x is 81. Well, if x is 81, that means that x plus 18 is 99, and sure enough, those two angles add up to 180. Another way I could have done that is to call my first angle x and my second angle 180 minus x, because I know that those two angles add up to 180, and therefore x plus 180 minus x is equal to 180. Now my equation is going to come from the fact that they have a difference of 18. So I can do 180 minus x minus the second angle is equal to 18, or this is my second angle minus the first angle is equal to 18. I now have a different equation. So I get 180 minus 2x is equal to 18. I'm going to subtract the 180. So I get neg 2x is equal to negative 162. When I divide both of those by negative 2, sure enough, I once again get x is 81, and therefore my other answer is 99. Why don't you guys try this one? Stop the tape, and we will get caught up in a momentito. Okay, hopefully you got this far. We're going to call the first angle x. We're going to call the second angle 2x plus 4 because it's 4 more than twice as big as double the first one. So now we know that these two angles are complementary, which means they add up to 90. So now I know that x plus 2x plus 4 is equal to 90. We can do some algebra. 3x plus 4 is equal to 90 minus 4 on both sides. I get 3x is equal to 86. I'm now going to divide by 3. Okay, and I get yuck. I get x is equal to, don't tell me, 81 is 27, 28 and 2/3. Okay, so if x is 28 and 2/3, I don't even want to know. I can tell you what the other one is. The second angle, so the first angle is 28 and 2/3, and the second one is going to be 61 and 1/3. And there are my two angles. I think that's it. That is. We'll see you soon.